But a lot of world leaders are there, so an opportunity to catch up with some of them on the sidelines of all of this. Let's go to London right now. In fact, standing outside Buckingham Palace, as we can see, and our political reporter James O'Doherty is there. James, I dare say Scott Morrison probably won't get as much attention as the other world leader who is, about to touch down there in London any minute now.
Will be arriving to London for his first state visit to the UK as president. He's been to Britain before, but not a state visit, so he'll be touching down here with all the pomp and ceremony, a ceremonial welcome here at Buckingham Palace where he'll meet the Queen, be afforded a state dinner as well, and he'll meet a number of other royals. Donald Trump is already causing a bit of consternation here in London because he's weighed in somewhat to a political firestorm here in the UK. You know, Theresa May is preparing to step down as Tory leader and as Prime Minister, and Donald Trump has effectively endorsed one of the leadership hopefuls, Boris Johnson, former Foreign Secretary. Whilst not an official endorsement, Donald Trump has emphasised. It gets pretty close. Donald Trump saying that he's a friend and he would do a fantastic job as leader. Already he's been criticised for weighing into domestic politics in the home country, the host country that he's preparing to visit for this important state visit.
Well, people ask me questions like you. You're asking me a question. Don't ask me the question if you don't want me to talk about it. Well, I may meet with him. He's been a friend of mine. He's been very nice. I have a very good relationship with him. I have a very good relationship with Nigel Farage, with many people over there, and we'll see what happens, but I may meet with him.
James, look, I'm not sure yet whether a meeting between Scott Morrison and Donald Trump has been locked in while they're both in London, but a pretty important comment from the US President before he left home about, well, not slapping tariffs on Australian aluminium and steel.
Yes, this was a big deal when the US was considering slapping increased tariffs on a number of countries. Malcolm Turnbull, then Prime Minister, managed to get an exemption from the US President for Australia's aluminium exports, saying that Australia is a good friend of the US and the way that the trade works, it's a good thing for the US to import our aluminium. Now, there's a report in the New York Times today that that exemption was against the wishes of some senior White House officials. They were saying that these exemptions, these tariffs should be placed on Australia. Donald Trump addressed this today.
The Australian situation is interesting, but the relationship is very strong. No, we're doing a very special relationship with Australia.
Well, we have an arrangement with the United States, and we are working within that arrangement and working closely with the US officials and the White House on all of those issues.
So Donald Trump talking up that very special relationship, he says, between the US and Australia. For his focus, Donald Trump will be focusing on the relationship between the UK and the US during this state visit. There's a massive police operation underway here as well. So we're expecting to see tens of thousands of protesters turn up to march against Donald Trump tomorrow. But as you say, though, the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, will probably be wanting to catch up with the US President whilst they're both in Portsmouth for the 75th anniversary of D-Day. David?
All right, well, look forward to your coverage from there, and pleased to see it's a much nicer day in London than here in chilly Canberra.